Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Monday. We got caught up talking today about marrying for money. Apparently, women nowadays are looking for financial stability when it comes to getting married, not just love, or maybe not love at all. Let's find out what people had to say.
All right, so let's talk about some of the things that your kids will never know. Now, a lot of you have grown up in a time before the internet. A lot of you have grown up in a time before all this technology, before cell phones. So you were able to see the two different lifestyles. And sometimes you tell your kids, oh, you'll never know this, you'll never know that, how great it was. Like you'll never know how great. We have malls today, right? But malls in the 80s and 90s were awesome. They're not as good as they are today. Everybody hung out there. They had everything. That was the spot to be. They were just great. Kids today will never understand them all. In fact, a friend of mine told me the other day that by the time the baby boomers, I don't know what age group that is, but by the time the baby boomers die off, malls will be gone because these millennials and Gen Zs, and they do all online shopping. No reason to go to a mall anymore, right? It's crazy. So there's a lot of things your kids won't know. You know, they'll never know what a payphone is. They'll never know. Well, some of them will never know what it's like to sit in silence for 5 minutes just because you have nothing else to do. But one of the funny things is, I grew up on this little Indian reservation up in Humboldt County. We had to order everything. We couldn't go to a store. We had nothing, you know. We had to go to a little hardware store and look at a catalog and order it through the hardware store if we wanted something. So, now I know stores still send out catalogs, but I remember, you know, I used to have to, for Christmas, my mom would give me the catalog and say, all right, what is it that you want for Christmas? I'd have to circle everything in this catalog that was as thick as a phone book. Well, some of your kids will never know what a phone book is. And I would have to pick what I wanted for Christmas. You know, my Christmas list was out of the catalog. Whatever, it may have been JCPenney's or Sears, or I don't remember, maybe both. But that's how we got stuff. Kids will never know that, even though it's the same thing as ordering off Amazon today, except you get it faster. You don't have to wait 6 weeks for it to show up, right? I remember the first time I ever went to LA. We were living on the res and our car broke and we needed a car part. And they got it to the mechanic shop within an hour. Couldn't believe it. I was so shocked. You would have thought the telephone had just been invented, or the light bulb, because if we wanted that same car part when we lived on the reservation, we'd have had to wait 6 weeks for it to get there. So there's a lot of things your kids are just never going to know. You know, Blockbuster was great. You know, kids will never know that. There's just a whole list of things. All right, 4254-7-7. So what do you got? What will your kids never know? And a lot of it's fun stuff, right? Let's talk about your kids, right? What will they never know? Somebody sent me a couple of memes that are funny. One said, hey, Rome, I grew up in a household where talking back got you messed up. That's pretty funny. Okay, so you're 10 years old. You have a laptop, an iPad, a Facebook, an iPhone. Dude, when I was 10, I only had one thing to play with. It was called Outside. That's pretty funny. Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, Romeo.
Yeah, what up, man?
You 100% absolutely right. The Sears catalog, that's how we used to do our online shopping.
Exactly. It was about 10 inches thick.
You know what I'm saying? You look at that thing for like 2 weeks before you can finally circle something.
You ain't lying. You would look at that thing for 2 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? No doubt. Finally get you something that you want, then it will be out of stock.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about out of stock. You're right. That's hilarious, man.
Check. You remember the rain checks? I asked for a rain check the other day. They didn't know what I was talking about.
That's hilarious, man. That's great. All right, man. Thanks for calling. All right, bye. RD 4254-7-7. Yo, Rome, never know a Hollywood video. Exactly. An 8-track. Yeah, you're not missing nothing with an 8-track, okay? I'm talking about cool stuff. There are cool things that kids today will never know, okay? Fun things that were great. They'll just never experience it. They'll never know it. 8-track is not one of them. Good morning, now. What's going on?
Yo, Steely Tyrone.
What up, Tyrone?
Man, they gonna miss out on one of the things I think, Rome, is gonna be the old school hide and go seek right before it gets dark, right when it's getting dark, and you go play hide and go seek, and you hide behind Miss Jenkins' house, and she comes outside and she's like, "What are you doing, boy?"
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's great. That's
They're
great,
going to miss
Tyrone.
out on a lot of those good
Yeah.
things, man.
We're actually going to talk about that tomorrow, Tyrone. Some of the games we used to play as kids, in the neighborhood with the neighborhood kids. Things like we're going to talk about a little bit about that tomorrow. All right, Tyrone.
I won't bring up my spin the bottle stories.
All right, Tyrone. We'll talk about it tomorrow. RD4254-7-7. He ain't lying, though. You ain't lived. I'm going to tell you right now. You have not lived until you were trying to get your butt home before it got dark. And you knew you were too far away. You knew you went too far. And you had to beat that damn sun, boy. You ain't lived till you've lived that experience. Let's talk about some of the things your kids will just never know. All right, 84254-7-7. Yo, Rome, playing with Hot Wheel cars was the best ever. Kids will never know cell phones. What do you mean everybody's got a cell phone? What are you talking about? Hey, Rome, the 70s and 80s Cracker Jack toys. Oh, yeah. Remember when you wanted to get that prize? Or when you'd get the cereal box without the prize in it, you wanted to get the Cracker Jack or just the prize, whatever the cool prize was. The Cracker Jacks, it was the, I think I always wanted the tattoo is what I was looking for. I don't remember. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Hey, Romeo.
Hey, what's up?
I think my kids will never know the appreciation of a commercial, on your favorite cartoon. Because on Saturday mornings you get up early and you go ahead and you run to the TV, get your cartoon on. The commercial comes on. Gives you enough time to go get, everybody's running, getting a snack.
Get your breakfast.
Yes, you go make yourself breakfast real quick in that 5 or 3 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Come back, boom. Now they can stop it, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Now
You're
everything,
right.
everything comes out right after another, which
Yeah.
is good because you binge watch,
Yeah.
but it takes it away. Also,
Yeah.
playing outside. There's
Yeah.
no way I'm letting my kids play outside
All right.
by themselves.
All right.
No.
All right.
I have to supervise them.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Bye. RD4254-7-7. Yeah, sometimes you need that commercial break. But now you just pause it. It's not the same. She's right. RD4254-7-7. Hey, Rome, that Playboy magazine. Yeah, that's kind of another thing. And I know this sounds silly, but you could just find porn everywhere. There was an excitement to finding that Playboy magazine, that Hustler, finding that when you had to watch, you'll never know what it's like to see Skinemax, when Cinemax would blur it out and it would pop on, that one boob would pop up clear for 2 seconds. It's just, those things were cool. They were fun. They gave you a little thrill. You're just not going to experience that nowadays as a kid. RD4254-7-7. Talk about the things your kids will never know. RD4254-7-7. Hold on. Good morning, Hot. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Rome?
Hey, Ruben. What's going on?
You know what our kids are missing out on, Rome, is rolling in the back of the truck. You know what I mean? Sitting
Oh, I
back
was
there,
going to say
your
that.
mom is going somewhere. You know what I mean? You just get to chill in the back of the truck.
I forgot all. I was going to say that. I'm glad you said that because I was going to say
when
that.
you pull up in the neighborhood, you sit on top of the bed, you know what I mean, on the edge or stand up. You know what I mean? You thought you were cool because your mommy down the street standing up in the back of your dad's
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they never get to do that because what? We got to buckle it up.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
so,
All right, Ruben.
Sorry, kids.
Later, man.
Later, bro.
Yeah, that riding in the back of the truck was awesome, by the way. Especially, and then you get to stand up sometimes. Yeah, it was great. How about the water hose? How about turning on a water hose? That hot, remember, you don't let it cool down. You just turn it on and hit it real quick, and it's hot. You won't never do that. One of the things that I think is funny about the phones, the cell phones, right? They used to have these things called telephones in your house that were connected to a wall. And remember when you be on the phone talking to your girlfriend or talking to your buddies or doing something, and then your mom or your sibling would get on the phone and want to use it? That was when you all had to share a phone. Yeah, that's something kids will never know nowadays. But, there's just cool things out there, man. Hey, Rome, what about marbles? Oh, dude, on the res? When I lived on the res, man, marbles were serious business. And if you got steelies, yeah. Oh man, yeah, it was pretty legit. We were pretty serious about our marbles and our steelies. Hey Rome, I meant waiting till past 9 o'clock to talk for free. Yeah. Ooh, I remember one time I read my dad's phone bill up $780. Boy, woo! I thought that was the end of my life at that point. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, you used to have to pay for minutes and pay for long distance. All right, hey Rome, people want to know low prices. If you were lucky to go to Disneyland, actually being able to get in the rides without waiting 2 hours, from what I hear, as well as haggling with the ice cream man or running after them. Oh, running after the ice cream man. That's funny. That's Romeo. What will your kids never know? Already 4254707. So things your kids will never know. Hey, do kids still do that when they know they're going to get in trouble at home and they say, hey, come in with me? Remember when you and your friends were out too late and you knew that it was dark and you knew you were in trouble for not coming home at a certain time? And you would tell your friends, hey, come in with me. She won't be mad at me if you come in with me. Do kids still do that, or does that still happen? Good morning, what's going on?
The phones, Romeo, you're right. But ditching school, you could ditch a lot and no one would care. They wouldn't hold you back. Now, if you miss so many days, they have meetings, your parents can go to jail, but you take your phone with you, so you're on a tracker. We know where you are.
Yeah, that's good.
You post everything anyway. But they can't get away with being away from it all. And that's, I think, was a really cool thing. I grew up in LA, and so we would ditch and we would go to the beach.
Yeah.
And no one knew where you were, but they thought you were at school, which was great. But that was the one thing, is being able to escape.
Yeah.
You can't escape anymore at all.
You can't. You're absolutely right.
Are.
You're absolutely right. Everybody's got that. What's that phone thing? Find My Phone or something. There's some app that you can track everybody who's on your phone plan or something like that.
Yeah, Life 360. I have an almost 19-year-old, and I still have him on that thing. I know where he is.
No, let him have some freedom. Take him off. See what he does.
Oh my God, no, never. And plus, they also, it's inevitable. They post wherever they're at, and it doesn't matter. They murder themselves by posting.
Yeah, kids are too stupid to understand that they're putting themselves out there. They're getting themselves in trouble. You're absolutely right.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
All right, thanks
Have
for
a good
calling.
day.
Yeah, that is true. I like ditching school. We used to ditch school. It was good times. Yeah, she's right. Already 4254707. One of the things that I thought was funny is hold on, let me see. Things your kids will just never know. Drinking from a hose, Rome. That hose water just hit differently after a bike ride. It sure did. It really did. Hey, Rome, Radio Shack. Oh, my God. Radio Shack used to be the spot, boy. If you were a young boy or a young girl into electronics, Radio Shack had it all. Hey, Rome, what about Pogs? I don't even know about Pogs. Already 4254707. Hey, Rome, one thing today's kids won't know are calling up those hotlines to talk to girls. Yeah. How about making a collect call? Remember you had to make a collect call? You'd be on the phone and a collect call break-in. Remember that? You guys don't remember that, do you? Alrighty, 4254707. Hey, Rome, they'll never know what it's like to get up and change the channel on a TV and mess with the antenna to stop the static from messing with, messing with the TV. You're right. Debbie Deb and Madonna music videos. I remember that. Yeah, you used to have rabbit ears. In fact, I still have some at the house. There's just things you'll never know. Things you'll never know. 842-547-7. Things your kids will never know. Well, hey, Rome. So I was listening to this podcast and was talking about financial security, how women nowadays are more likely to marry a guy just for financial security instead of actually being in love with them. What's your opinion, Rome? Well, I think that's a little heavy-handed to say that, because you can start dating somebody with financial security and fall in love with them. I mean, you're going to I think men are going to criticize women for dating guys that make money, for guys that have careers, okay? Oh, you're a gold digger. Oh, why? If you want financial security and you marry a guy that has money, you learn to love him. That's what we all do. Love is a learned behavior. You guys use love in this definition of being something that automatically happens and you have no control over it. Yes, you absolutely have control over who you love, who you don't love. So what do I think about it? I think there's nothing wrong with it. Because how do you determine they're dating a guy for financial security? You determine that by saying what? Every time a woman goes out with a man who makes money, she's dating him for the money? That's not true. You learn to love somebody. So, but a lot of women have a standard. They don't want to date some bum. All right, 842-547-7, Rome. Guys are not in love. We're just horny. That is not true at all. That is absolutely not true. All right, 842-547. Yo, Rome, that was a missed opportunity to play gold digger right there. You guys don't know the definition of a gold digger. You know, a woman could have a standard and date a guy who's financially secure, or date a guy with a career who's financially secure. What's wrong with that? That's not gold digging. That's having a standard for yourself. So what? Does that mean that every woman that dates a bum who's still living with his mom is better than any woman who dates a guy with a career and financial security? Come on now. You guys are stupid. You guys don't know what gold digger means. Hey, Rome, I'm pretty sure you know what gold digger is. Sounds like you used to trick back in the day. You're so funny. All right, 842-547-7. Sometimes I wonder what these idiots, they think they're writing something that gets to me. You can't even man up enough to call me. You got to do it through a text message. Little bitches. All right, 842-547-7. Yeah. Yeah, they're not gold diggers. A woman, just because a woman wants to marry somebody who's got, a career, financially stable, maybe owns a house instead of living with his mom or living in an apartment, doesn't make her a gold digger. And like I said, you learn to love people. You fall in and out of love with people all the time. You choose who to love. You choose not who to love. So, yeah, I don't think there's I don't know what podcast you were listening to, but I don't think that is... I think there's a lot more to it than what you've just texted me. The guy sent me this, said, hey, Rome, I was listening to this podcast. It was talking about financial security, how women nowadays are more likely to marry a guy for financial security instead of actually being in love with him. What's your opinion on that? Well, first of all, my opinion on that is love is a learned behavior. So you choose who you love and don't love. So I think the podcast you're listening to is a little one-sided. It's not being fair to the fact that there are women out there that want financial security, but what comes along with that is a responsible man, a hardworking man, an educated man. There are a whole bunch of different factors to guys that have financial security. So without hearing the whole context of it, I think what you're trying to say is women are gold diggers. Those women are gold diggers, and they're not. Because you guys don't know what a real true gold digger is if you think a woman who just wants to find a man with financial security is a gold digger. Already 425-477. Good morning, Hot. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, bro?
What up, man?
Hey, man, some of these dudes don't get it. Look, when you get into a relationship and you fall in love, that woman's going to have your back. But more importantly, if she wants financial security, a good woman will help push you to have financial security, will help guide you. Most of these dudes are so blind nowadays, they don't understand that together you can achieve a lot. They just want to go out based off of social media where, let's go take photos here and be broke.
Yeah, I can agree with that. There's a lot of guys out there that are financially secure now because they met a woman who helped them, who pushed them, who gave them security to make them feel like they could do it. I would agree with that. All right, man.
Romeo,
thanks for calling, brother. Yeah, I mean, I agree with him. I agree with that. There's a lot of people out there that, but I mean, the idea, what this guy is saying though, is this idea that women are nowadays more likely to marry a guy who's already financially secure, which I don't have a problem with that because to me, it's just a standard of life that you want. It doesn't mean you're trying to take advantage of him. It means your dating pool is financial security men who have careers, men who have jobs, men who are making enough money to support. You know, you guys use this word love like it's something that's not learned. That's the problem I'm trying to tell you. Love is a learned behavior. You choose who you love and who you don't love. Okay? So stop using love like it's the end-all be-all of a relationship when it's not. RD42547-7. This guy sent me this, said, hey, Roma, I was listening to this podcast. It was talking about financial security, how women nowadays are more likely to marry a guy for financial security instead of actually being in love with him. What's your opinion on that? Well, first of all, my opinion on that is love is a learned behavior. So you choose who you love and don't love. So I think the podcast you're listening to is a little one-sided. It's not being fair to the fact that there are women out there that want financial security, but what comes along with that is a responsible man, a hardworking man, an educated man. There are a whole bunch of different factors to guys that have financial security. So without hearing the whole context of it, I think what you're trying to say is women are gold diggers. Those women are gold diggers, and they're not. Because you guys don't know what a real, true gold digger is if you think a woman who just wants to find a man with financial security is a gold digger. Already 42547-7. Good morning, Hot. What's going on?
Good morning, Romeo.
Hey, what's up?
You know, sometimes you have to date within your budget. So if you meet a girl at Taco Tuesday, and later, you call her up and you tell her you want to date. Hey, you want to go get some tacos? And she says, boy, are you crazy? You say, well, you know what? Forget it. That's where I met you. You have to date within your budget. And women get a little fancy like that. And I'm going to give you a quick story. I remember I asked a friend, do you want to have some filet of fish? I said, filet mignon. She says, I don't like fish. I said, well, yeah, clearly you haven't been to good restaurants. I'll take you to Long John Silver's. So, you just have to date someone that you know is financially set for themselves. Because that's where you come in with your income, and if you guys want to make it work, you guys make something out of it. You just don't come in saying, oh, well, where do you work? How much money do you make annually? That kind of stuff, because you're self-sabotaging yourself. If you yourself don't have your life together, then date within your budget. Date someone that never graduated from high school, and you guys would be a perfect match. You can't expect a college degree relationship out of someone that dropped out of junior high and has 5 kids. You can't do that.
Okay. All right.
All right. I thought I would just let you know.
Okay. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Date within your budget. Already 42547-7. That's not a bad idea for some people. But I think what this person is saying is women are looking for financial security. But I will say this also, and she's right, date within your budget. What is your idea of financial security? Not every woman... maybe she just wants a house. Maybe she doesn't care what side of town it's on or what neighborhood it's in. She just wants a house and a car. It all depends on what your idea of financial security is. Okay. Every woman has a different idea. So she's right. To an extent, she's right. Is that gold digging? No, that's not gold digging. You guys don't know what gold digging is. Okay. All right. 842-547-7. So this guy says, hey, Rome, I was listening to this podcast and it was talking about financial security, how women nowadays are more likely to marry a guy just for financial security instead of actually being in love with them. What's your opinion? Well, first, my opinion is, how do you know they're not in love with them? I guess I'd have to know the context of this conversation that you were listening to, because there's a lot of dumbasses out there who don't know what they're talking about. And just because a woman says, you know what, I'd like to marry a man who has some financial stability, doesn't mean she's a gold digger. Just means she wants a dude that's got some cash, wants some dude that's not, she don't want to live in a box under a bridge. What the hell's wrong with that? Why you want some bum? Why are you going to discredit some woman who wants financial security? So what are we talking about the women who bury these bums that can't afford nothing? What do we say about them? Are they better than the woman who wants a financial security? Come on now. Money's a part of the world. And if you don't know it, you're an idiot. Okay? Doesn't mean you're a gold digger. RD42547-7. Good morning, Rome. The problem is that women tend to vent or disclose their life in general. And for that, they get exposed to be judged. Maybe the girl knows her worth and wants a man on her level or higher, and for that gets misjudged. Well, but that's the other thing. See, this is the other stupid, idiotic part of you guys' conversation. You're not real men. I'm going to tell all you clowns out there right now, you're not a real man. If you need a woman that makes as much money as you or that needs to help pay for your life, then you're not a real man. You're a little punk. You're just a bum, right? Real men don't need a woman to come in their life and pay for anything. Real men can pay for everything for them and their families, okay? And that should be your thought process as a man. If she comes in with her own cash or she got a little hustle going on and she got some cash, that's great. She can spend it on whatever she wants. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, and this is where you guys are stupid. This is why men are stupid, and I call you men in Bakersfield stupid all the time, because this is why you're stupid. You're over here trying to take advantage of some woman to help pay your bills. You don't need that. You need to be able to pay for everything. And if you got a woman who has her own money and you're taking care of her, guess what? She'll spend her money on you without you having to say anything about it. That's why you idiots are wrong. That's why you idiots aren't real men. Real men take care of their women, take care of their kids, take care of their family. They don't need any help. All right? But that's not saying she has to stay home and not go to work. If she wants to go to work, go to work. She wants some cash, go get your cash. But you shouldn't need it. RD42547-7. A guy texted me that says, hey, Rome, I was listening to this podcast. It was talking about financial security, how women nowadays are more likely to marry a guy just for financial security instead of actually being in love with them. What's your opinion, Rome? Well, times are tough. Inflation, Bidenomics. Things are going up. Houses are expensive. Cars cost money. Groceries cost cash. I mean, what are you going to do? No, I think that there's a lot more to it. I don't know what the context of the podcast you were listening to was, but who wants a broke dude? I mean, what do you want? And love, since love is a learned behavior, you choose who you fall in love with. You choose who you don't fall in love with. So just because you're attracted to a guy because he's got, a career and money, and financial security doesn't mean you're not going to fall in love with him. Good morning, now what's going on? Hello?
All right, so sorry, I'm over here. I had to call you back, Romeo, to let you know that exactly what you just said right now, you hurt a lot of man's feelings. You have to dumb it down. Dumb it all the way down. If you live with your mom, if you live in the back of your mom's house and on your mom's couch, and if you wear long shorts and high socks, you are out of the picture. You have no reason to sit and complain and have the nerve to say, she's got a fake butt.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You don't even have a fake house.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
You don't even have a fake car. You got a bike. And one of the wheels don't even run right.
You got to take your mom to work. It's not your car. It's hers.
Exactly. And you can't even say that the best thing that a bum will tell you is, yeah, I work for my uncle.
Yeah.
Then you already know this fool has a felony.
Oh, that's great.
If he works for a family member, he is running from the popo.
That's awesome.
And 9 times out of 10, he's probably on food stamps.
That's
I'm
great.
not talking the food stamps. I need some barbecue, but I don't need someone that I need to take care of.
I ain't gonna lie though, there are some women out there that being on food stamps is financial security.
No, I don't know about that. And then the one that gets me the most is when it says your income and you put child support. That is not your income.
God. I've never seen. All right. Thanks for calling.
You take care of yourself.
Oh my God. Yeah, why you want some bum? I mean, why would a woman want a bum? RD4254, because I love him. Well, you chose to love a bum, okay? That is not fate. That is not soulmate. That is not whatever kind of cosmic situation that you're involved in that relationship, okay? You chose to love a bum. RD4254-7-7. Rome, those dudes try to flex an $80,000 vehicle, have no rent, mortgage, and still live with their parents are the ones that call them gold diggers. Exactly. A real man pays for everything. A real man pays for everything because he can and he wants to. But that doesn't mean that he controls his woman. You still let your woman do whatever she wants. Let her choose her path in life. You just, take care of everything. 84254-7-7. What'd you say here, Rome? It just sounds like you're justifying a woman being broke and a man should be able to provide. Don't get me wrong, that's true. I just don't ever hear you say the other side, which is a grown woman shouldn't need a man and should be financially stable in her own regard or on her own regardless. Well, yeah, because that's not my stance. I don't care, but that's my point. My point is a man should never need a woman's money. A man should always have enough money. All right? That's how I was raised. That's what it was, that's how I was taught. So why would I say a woman needs to take care of herself? A woman needs to do this. A woman needs to do that financially when I don't care if from my perspective, I don't care if they do, if they are or they aren't. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they're not capable of doing it. All I'm saying is from my perspective, I don't care because I don't need her money. If you need her money, that's on you. If you feel that a woman should be able to to financially take care of herself, then okay. The bottom line is women have to, at some point, do that. Single, independent women have to do that. Most married women have to do that to afford financially. My perspective is, as a man, I don't need her money. So I don't have to give you her side of it, because from her side of it, I don't care if she has money or not, because I don't need it. So I don't understand what you're trying to say. The other side doesn't matter to me because I don't need her money. If you're going to look at a woman as a possible girlfriend, wife, and you're looking at her financial capabilities, what does that say about you? All I'm saying is, if a woman wants to marry for financial stability, there's nothing wrong with that, because as a man, I should be able financially to provide for that. That should be in my plan my entire life, no matter who the woman is that I end up meeting, falling in love with, marrying. Financially, I should be capable of handling everything. That should be what I'm working for as a man. Not going, well, I'm going to do okay, but let me find the right woman. Let me find this woman that has, that makes more money than me, or that makes something, equal to me, so that we could both, so that we can have more. No, I should have more because I want more. So I'm not really sure what you're saying. Why I don't say the other side of it is because I don't care about the other side of it. And I shouldn't care about the other side of it as a man, because I should be able to take care of it all myself. A guy he said he was listening to something, some podcast or something about women are trying to try to marry for financial reasons, not necessarily for love anymore. Although I find that hard to believe that you can, you might date men who have they might be dating men who have money or financial stability, whatever their idea of financial stability is. But I don't think they're just going to marry them without having feelings for them. Maybe their dating pool is just men of what they believe financial stability is for them. And then they fall in love with one of those. So I would have to listen to the whole podcast that you were talking about to understand. I don't think I got the whole story. Hey, Rome, I understand what you're saying, because when I got into a relationship with a woman, it's not because I need financial help from her. I really don't care how much money she makes. And that's what I'm trying to say. So for the last person that said I'm not giving the other side of it, when you're looking for a woman, to date a woman, as a man, you're not looking her financial status. And if you are, then you need to reevaluate you as a man and what you're doing in this world. Because you should be trying to be financially stable as a man, just as a human being, you know? So, yeah. Hey, Rome, what if you want a sugar mama? Well, if you want one, go find one. I mean, that just shows what kind of pathetic human being you are. But that's fine. They're out there. I mean, there are women out there with plenty of money who want just some puppet on a string. And if that's what you like, that's great. Go do it. But, you know, that's not what we're talking about. So, okay. And fortunately, there's not a lot of sugar mamas out there. Most women who are financially stable and do well for themselves don't want somebody to take advantage of them. They had a tough enough time getting to where they got to. They're not going to have somebody take advantage of them. So, and that's what you would be doing as a man. But you guys are not looking at. You guys always think, though, that financial stability, it's all a matter of perspective of what your financial stability is. You know? You just think when you say some woman's out there looking for a guy who's financially stable, you're going, well, she's a gold digger. Well, what if it's just some guy, you know, making $100,000 a year, and that's good enough for her? You know, you guys are just so damn. But the problem is, you guys are so damn jaded and so damn insecure, especially in Bakersfield. You just always think. I mean, you think so highly of yourselves, like somebody's always trying to take advantage of you, like you really have a lot to offer. And that's just not the case. You don't have as much to offer as you think you do. And you need to get over yourselves. RD4254-7-7. Send me here. RD4254-7-7. Hey, Rome, another way these guys got to look at it is later on in life, would you want your daughter dating some bum? Of course not. You don't want some guy who's financially well off to take care of her so she doesn't struggle. You don't want some guy who's financially well off. You want some guy who's financially well off to take care of her so she doesn't struggle. Well, that's the point. The point that you guys are missing is this. When I have this conversation, is that I am not telling you that a woman needs to be financially dependent on a man. What I'm saying is, as a man, I don't need financial dependence on a woman ever, and you shouldn't ever. As a man, she could have as much, she can make and do whatever she wants with it. If she wants to go make more money than me, that's God bless her. And she can do whatever the hell she wants with that money. But financially, as the man, you should be able to take care of everything financially so that she feels taken care of. Now, whether she wants to go out and make money herself, that's fine. Or if she doesn't, that's fine also. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of you guys don't understand that. One, because you're too pathetic of a person, of a human being to go out and go, what would you do if you didn't have the woman? That's the other thing. You have to look at it like this. It's like, I know how to do everything in my house. Cook, clean, everything. I don't need a woman to come into my house and start cooking and cleaning. I've been doing it for years. So my question is, what do you do? What are you going to do if you never find a woman? Or what do you do while you're single? who takes care of you then? Because what seems to me is that most of you men, at least in Bakersfield, once you get into a relationship with a woman, you tend to think that she needs to bring all of these things to the table that you may or may not have been looking for to begin with. Just all of a sudden. Okay, all of a sudden she moves in with you. She's got to pay bills. All of a sudden she moves in with you. She's got to cook. She's got to clean. Why? If you were doing all of those things before she got together with you and before she started living with you or before you got married to each other, why all of a sudden, once that happens, does she have to start contributing in a way that you never needed before? That's what I don't get. That's what I don't understand. If I could do it all on my own and I decide, you know what, I want to settle down with this woman, why all of a sudden does she have to participate in something that I've been handling on my own? That makes no sense. At least not to me, but a lot of you guys are pathetic out here, so I don't think you really get what I'm talking about, but that's why I'm better than you. What is this guy talking? Oh, this is the person who said I don't hold. So this guy sent me it must be a guy, sent me a text message saying men should be able to provide. How come you're not talking about women? They should be financially responsible. Because I don't care. Because that's not what I'm looking for. So I don't care about that. Okay, so sent me this. When I say you never say the other side, I'm saying that you're constantly holding men to a standard, which is 100% correct. But think if you had a daughter, are you teaching or preaching to her to find a man that will take care of her? Well, first of all, that's not what I'm saying. That's not at all what I'm saying. So obviously you have no understanding of the conversation or teaching her to work hard and not need a man. But they're both, you're not listening to what I'm saying. That's your problem. So I don't know what you think is right or wrong. But for one, I'm not saying that a woman shouldn't be financially responsible. What I'm saying is she has a choice of what she does, which doesn't mean anything to a man. That's what I'm saying. And if you don't understand that, you need to stay out of this conversation. Because what I am saying is a man should never be reliant on a woman's money, and he should be able to financially take care of the family, whatever that consists of and however that is. Now, if a woman is out there looking for someone who's financially responsible in whatever she perceives financially responsible, so that she feels more safer with that man from a financial standpoint, whether she makes money or not is not my concern. So what you're saying is ridiculous within the context of what we're talking about. Of course, you're not going to teach your daughter to just be reliant on a man, but that's also not what I believe this whole conversation started as. The guy started saying he listened to a podcast that said women are looking for men who are financially responsible before love. But I believe what he's saying is totally wrong because I didn't hear the whole conversation. Because the conversation should be, as a woman, you should be out dating men that fit in the parameters of financially responsible for you. And then eventually you'll find the right one that you fall in love with. You're not out there looking for a loser. Under your pretense, women should just be out there looking for love, whether the guy's a loser or not. That's stupid. What's also stupid is to sit here and say what you said. 100% women who think they don't need a man don't get one, because their attitude and the way they're taught teaches them to hate men. You have to teach a woman that, hey, or your daughter that, hey, I can make $1 million and marry a man who makes $4 million a year. And the man who makes the $4 million a year should say, you know what? You take your money and spend it on whatever you want. Don't worry about the finances. I got it. Now, that's a drastic exaggeration of finances, but you should understand the concept of that. But if you're a woman that wants to go, you know what? I don't want to work. I want to go find a man who's going to financially be able to take care of me, and I'm going to stay at home and raise kids. You should absolutely be able to do that as well without any criticism and without you talking, because what you're saying is stupid. And obviously you have no idea what's going on in this conversation, because for you right now, what you're saying is idiotic and it's not real. At least not if you want to be happy. Let's see what you sent me here. Hey, good morning, Rome. Oh, this is what we were talking about. Hey, good morning, Rome. Do you think financial relationships aren't capable of being loving relationships? It's a genuine question I'm asking you. But how? First of all, what is a financial relationship? How do you define a financial relationship? If I am out there looking, here's the problem where you guys are all, some of you are not understanding, is that this. What is your dating pool? And are you talking about a woman financial? Because that's what we were just talking about. If I am a woman and I'm in this and I'm out here looking for a man, okay? My dating pool should be financially stable men. Why would I not? Why would my dating pool be some bum who works part-time at the van store or some dude working part-time at, pick any place? Why would that be my dating pool? My dating pool should be financially stable men. And by that logic, if that is your dating pool, you're going to find one of those men to fall in love with. So what are you really asking me? Why would you date losers? Why would your dating pool be filled with losers? That's what I'm trying to ask you. Okay? So your question of, what was your question exactly? You said, do you think a financial relationships aren't capable of being loving relationships? I think every relationship is capable of being every relationship is capable of being a loving relationship. I mean, not every relationship, but when you're out there dating, looking, you find, but you have to throw a net out to the type of men that you're looking for, or the type of women that you're looking for. Okay? If you're a dude out there who wants, this is the problem that you guys all have. And you don't start by looking for what you want in life. You start by looking for, men start by looking for hot and sexy. And then they go into, it doesn't turn out to what you want. And then you go, I'm stuck with what I'm stuck with. I don't know exactly what a lot of you women look for when you're out and about, when you're out, what your dating pool is, but you need to look for what you want. You guys will go out and find a woman who wants to work and make money and then get mad because she don't cook you dinner. Well, she was never going to cook you dinner, bro. She's out working just like you. Why can't you make dinner? There's a woman out there who's willing to either not work or maybe work part-time, who's willing to cover dinner and cleaning if you go find her. But you guys don't want that. You guys look in all the wrong places for the people that you want to settle down with. There is no such thing as soulmates. There is no such thing as Cupid. There is no such thing as fate that brings you together. Okay? If you have some common sense and you go out and look for what you want in a woman or in a man or in a relationship, you can find it. Instead of trying to create it or make somebody do something they were never going to do. Okay? You can't be that unrealistic about what you're doing in life. You have to be smarter. But you can't do that. All you want to do is complain after the fact. She don't do this. He don't do that. Well, he never did it. He was never going to do it to begin with. You know? You guys seen these videos? You've seen these videos on social media where the woman's talking about, yeah, my man, you know, you complain about, what is it? Something about my man does everything or something like that. And she goes, I didn't marry no loser. What are you women doing? I mean, what are you doing? You guys make bad decisions from day one by the person you choose to pick as a potential partner and then complain when it doesn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. Well, you chose the wrong person to begin with. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Hey, Romeo.
Yeah.
You are a feminist.
I am not a what is a feminist?
You are.
No, no.
Yes, you are.
No.
So you said that a woman has a choice.
Okay.
That's feminism. The man should be doing whatever he was doing before he met her. He doesn't need her to come along and take care of him.
Okay.
And she can work if she wants to. That's feminism.
Look, if I was a feminist, I'd have purple hair and a nose ring. Okay, I know I'm not a
No.
I don't know if that's feminism or not. I just was raised a certain way to do things, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. No, you should look into it. You are a feminist. I mean, you might not want to go around saying that you are because people don't understand what feminism is.
There you go. And I'm going to tell you right now, I understand what feminism is, and you're right. Most women don't understand what it is. And then they preach to these guys and make the guys stupid too. You're absolutely right.
No. It's the choice. It's having the choice.
It's having the choice. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, I just had to call and tell you that.
Oh my God. Go to work.
I am. I'm on my way.
All right. Later. RD4254-7-7. Hey, Romeo. My sister-in-law is with a loser who's locked up for years now, and she worries about him having his package every month and about 100 every third day. But she and her two kids are always struggling to eat because she said she has no money. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. What do you want me to take from that? She chose a loser, I guess. Okay, yeah, I don't know why women choose losers, but for the most part, I don't know why they choose losers, but they do.
I'll tell you why women like losers. Because we got big gangalangs. She used to call me on the cell phone.
Jesus. The problem is this, and maybe you're right about that. Maybe you're right. That's why women like losers. But the ones that figure it out move on to a better life, and the ones that don't, are still crying about how they have nothing and they're getting cheated on. So the smart ones change. The smart ones make better decisions long term. The dumb ones don't. All right, here. 842-547-7. Hey, Romeo, I just want to tell you, you're absolutely right, because I was one of those dumb women. I was dating a very sexy man who made really good money. We had a couple of kids together. I was living my life, thought everything was great, till I found out he was cheating on me. There was not a lot I can do about it because I was not working. I was a stay-at-home wife and mother. And so he had all the finances. Well, guess what? After I got out of that relationship, I was trying to figure it out. I went and got me a little job, started to take care of things. And I ran into this guy who was the exact opposite of my ex. He was a little pudgy. He had a really good job, worked hard. I thought I'd give him a chance because I thought I'd give him a chance because he was the exact opposite of my ex. Now we've been together for 10 years. He took in my kids. We have 2 more kids together. He turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. And he turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me because he wanted me. And now my life is great. I never would have thought that was possible because I was kind of shallow and I was kind of selfish, but this man changed my whole life. All right. Enough said, right? All right. Let's see here. 842-547-7. Hey, Romeo. I've been listening to what you're talking about women marrying for financial security and not for love, and that men should take care of everything. I don't know what you think about this, but shouldn't everybody be self-sufficient in their own right, regardless of who they are? Yes, they should, right? When you're raising your kids, outside of maybe most of you are raising your kids to take care of themselves in every manner. Every child that leaves their parents' house should know how to cook, clean, take care of themselves. You can be financially responsible and all that stuff, right? You should be teaching your kids to do that. Here's the problem, though. When you teach women to do that, for some reason, you teach them in a manner in which you tell them you don't need a man. Instead of just teaching them and showing them the way to be a self-sufficient individual, you have to throw on top of that, you don't need no man. So now they're thinking, I don't need no man. I don't need no man. And then now they're jaded. So when they're actually out there in the real world and they decide, you know what? I want somebody. I don't want to be alone my entire life. They have a hard time getting a guy because you've installed in them they don't need a man. So now they're jaded. You need to teach them that I can take care of myself, but it'd be great if there was somebody there who wanted to take care of me as well. Take care of, and when I say take care of, I don't mean, I can't think of a better word. You guys can give me a better word than take care of. But, you can take out the garbage if you want as a woman, but why would you want to? Let him do it. That's my point. Being able to do something and allowing somebody else to do it for you is okay. I could do it, but do I really want to do it? Nah, let this dude do it. He loves me. He wants me. He'll do it. But I can still do it. But when you teach women that they don't need a man, you set them up for failure when it comes to finding a good man that's going to want, love, and care for them. Same thing goes for men. You teach these men to go out and do and make money and do things, but they got, a chip on their shoulder that every woman's out to take advantage of. And that's just not the case. It's just not the case. So you moms and dads are teaching your kids the wrong way to look at relationships. Would you ask me? Oh, this is the person. There was a woman who texted and said she was dating or married to six-pack, hot, sexy, made good money, had a couple of kids. He ended up cheating on her. She said she ended up giving the opposite guy the chance. Apparently, it worked out great. She's been with him for 10 years. He accepted her kids, and they have a couple of kids together now, apparently, and says she's got a happy life. So this person said, hey, Rome, if the new guy is the complete opposite, is he hot? Is he not sexy? Well, I'm going to guess that he probably got a beer gut, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, probably not. I don't know. I mean, I could probably do an entire show on what that woman said. Because look, and I'll just, when you guys are out here looking around, look at Bakersfield. Okay, just when you're out and about and you're in public and you see people, you notice how there are a lot of sexy women in shape, walking around with guys that got beer guts, guys that got, they're not dressed like they're not dressed as well when they go out as their women are. It's because at a certain point, women understand this is not working. Okay. And you guys know this if you've been in Bakersfield long enough. A lot of these guys who, good-looking guys who make good money, they can always trade in their wives. I mean, it's just, it probably doesn't just happen in Bakersfield. It happens probably everywhere. If you're a 50, 60-year-old man with a wallet and you want a 30-year-old, wife with a body, they're out there. And so the 40-year-old wife who still looks great, is not going to go look for the next, guy with, she's going to realize that, hey, these guys are just using. Look at those housewife shows. All those housewife shows, all those women go through the same men. They're just interchangeable. They're all taking their turns with them, right? Most women in Bakersfield, after a couple of runs, they go, wait a second, this is not for me. Let me find a guy who wants to be with me. And so still got a good job, still a good guy. He just might not look physically in the way that the last 4 guys you went out with or the last 2 guys you married looked. And that's why I said the women who figure it out. And they find the guys that want them. Because there's, I was looking at the story with Tiger Woods, right? He got in this accident and all this DUI or whatever it was, right? And the big thing was, what is his girlfriend going to say? Dude, you're Tiger Woods. You're worth $1 billion. What do you care what your girlfriend says? The next one will just come along, Guys like that, that's how they think. So, you can only date intelligent women only date those guys for so long until they realize now I need to find somebody that wants me for me and what I have to offer. Hey, Romeo, so what you're saying is that people need to settle? Is that what I just heard you say? That if you can't have exactly what you want, you need to settle for something else, even if it's not what you want? Well, no. It's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, at a certain point, things aren't going the way you want it to go. So what are you supposed to do? Just keep going down that path? Keep until, you don't end up with happiness? If you have an idea of happiness and you know what it is, okay? There's nothing wrong with finding it somewhere else. And that's the problem that all of you have. You get your mindset in this, you get yourself in this state of mind that, you know what, this is what I have to have. I have to have a 6-foot tall guy with 6-pack abs and a 6-figure income. Well, guess what? Those guys can get whatever woman they want. So when they want a younger one, they go get them. And then what are you supposed to do? Because the next one's not looking for you, but that in your mind, that's what you have to have. That means you succeeded in your life or in your relationship. When the reality is, you might be able to find a guy who doesn't have a 6-pack ab, who has a name on his shirt and makes really, really good money in Bakersfield, who wants to be with you every single day and do what you want and be on your side. Right? So is that settling? Or is that just finding happiness differently than what you thought it was going to be? That's my point. Not that you need to settle, but at a certain point, you need to realize, and most women do. Most women in Bakersfield do realize that I am not going to have exactly what I want, but I'm going to get pretty darn close because I'm willing to find somebody who wants to be with me. The ones that don't are sitting alone at a bar, still trying to find that guy. The ones that don't are unhappy. The ones that don't are over saying all men suck because a couple of playboys did you wrong because, well, you're out of their age range now. There's an old joke about Seven Oaks. When you go into Seven Oaks, you go into the country club, you can see the guys that traded in their first wives. You can tell who they are. That's real. Okay? Not right. I'm not saying it's right. But I'm saying that at a certain point, when you want to be happy, you need to reevaluate. If you're not getting what you want out of a certain group of people, maybe you need to change your group of people because they are out there. All right. I'm not saying lower your standard. I'm just saying sometimes you might have to change what standard gets you to a life of happiness. RD4254-7-7. Hey, Romeo. With what you're talking about, what a lot of these women don't understand, and just so you know, I am a woman, that just so these women understand and to let you know that I am a woman. Okay, so this is a woman sending me this text message. When it comes to marrying a good-looking man, or when it comes to marrying money, there are certain things that come along with that. There are certain things you have to put up with and accept. In the same way that a guy marries a very attractive woman, he needs to understand she is going to get a lot of attention. And if you are insecure about that, you're going to have a tough time dating a very attractive woman. But there are certain stipulations that come along, Rome, with marrying money. And women need to understand that if they want to live that lifestyle. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. The stipulations that come along with marrying a millionaire versus marrying a guy who makes a couple $100,000 a year are completely different. And if you're a billionaire, that's even really different. But I don't know any billionaires. But when you marry, yeah, it's just like when you marry a name. You know, when you marry a prominent name, there are certain things that they get away with that if you want to be married into that situation, you have to accept it. So, yeah, okay. All right, 84254-7-7. Hey, Rome, I think it's funny you were talking about marriage and the things you put up with. My sister married a prominent family in Bakersfield, a big name. I don't want to say who they are. Excuse me. I don't want to say who they are. But she was married for a few years. They had a couple of kids. He was cheating on her and kept cheating on her. She ended up finally leaving him. But she still hasn't changed her name back to her maiden name because the family is such a big name in Bakersfield. Well, yeah, I get it. I mean, that happens. I know a couple of women like that. I know actually quite a few women who are married to rich men in Bakersfield or names in Bakersfield, and they accept a lot from these dudes. I'm not saying they're not doing a lot as well, but I've seen a lot of action. Around town. It is what it is, man. That comes with the territory, man. You want to marry, I mean, you can't expect to marry a multi-millionaire
and tell him what to do. That's just, or a billionaire or whatever. You just can't, that's just not, it's not what's going to happen.
Romeo in the Morning.
Every morning.
On Hot 94.1.